Daeun is a modest and clumsy waitress working part-time in a cozy cafe with her friends. It seems that she is unremarkable, but it is not so because the girl is dating a rich and successful singer, Chonu. Just a month ago, they had a happy couple and common dreams, which they tried to hide from their surroundings. Afraid that the idol would be judged for having a relationship with a poor girl, they hid their relationship from their family and friends. However, this did not prevent the couple from building a happy relationship that lasts almost a year. After another secret date, the guy calls Daewon to tell her that he left her a gift, a gold pendant hidden under her pillow. A few days later, the guy visits the girl again to be alone. To their misfortune, Daeun's best friend Ari returns to the cafe early, resulting in the couple's exposure. A couple weeks later, Daeun celebrates her birthday, hoping that her boyfriend will remember her and find time despite his busy work schedule. Trying to surprise her, she prepared a birthday dinner, but Jeonwoo never showed up. Moreover, he stopped answering the girl's calls, which made her worried. She tried in every way to contact him, but all in vain. Realizing that this is the end of their relationship, Daewon fell into a severe depression. Sometime later, Ari calls her friend and asks her to turn on the TV because their Chonu gives an interview. As it turns out, the guy is fine. He continues to perform on stage and becomes more and more popular, and Daeun just has no place in his life. Soon Ari visits her friend to support her in a difficult moment. She suggests finding another guy, but the lovesick Daeun doesn't want to find a replacement for Jong. They first met a year ago when she pretended to be a famous singer. The exposure did not spoil their relationship, which passed a series of tests, so the girl is sure that they can be together. Considering all these facts, Ari suggests talking to Belle, the famous singer and dancer Daewon pretended to be a year ago. In the meantime, Belle is experiencing a series of difficulties. Her career is on the verge of complete failure, and the only way to rehabilitate herself is to go on the show. The singer does not want to take part in the shooting, and the comrade offers to use cunning, sending Daewon instead of herself. When the girls meet, they discuss it and come to an agreement. Belle will pretend to be Daeun, a humble and poor waitress, for a week, and Daeun will become a successful singer and take part in a reality show, which will allow her to meet Jeonwoo. Meanwhile, Jeonwoo is suffering as he finds himself locked up. He loves Daeun and wants to be with her, but the evil producer and his son Idan do everything to confine the guy from the outside world. Before going to the set of a reality show, Daeun learns about how she should behave. There are hundreds of cameras around, and she must not step out of character for a second so that no one exposes the poor waitress. In addition to her, 5 other stars will live in the house. Talented composer Sodo Hyun, beautiful Hwine, evil Iden, Belle's ex-girlfriend Rue, and Chonu, whom she longs to meet. Once in the house, she meets Sodokan and tries to get acquainted with him. Not knowing all the details of the biography of the real Belle, Daewon makes mistakes, which seems strange. Her behavior is suspicious because the girl seems to be a completely different person. Soon all the participants of the reality show gather in the house, except for Jeonwoo, who is late. Daewon gets acquainted with them and continues to make mistakes in communication since he does not know Belle's real life. At the moment the filming stops, the girl decides to go outside but is stopped by Rue. The girl arranges a quarrel and suspects the singer of lying, but Sodokan defends her. The composer sympathizes with the modest and shy person, but Daewon does not pay attention to it. She is interested in Jeonwoo, whom she notices nearby. He is holding a cell phone, and Daewon suspects that the guy is ignoring her on purpose, not suspecting that it is Eden's phone, since Jeonwoo has no means of communication. The 6 soon split into pairs to write songs together. By lot, it turns out that Belle and Sodo Hyun are a couple. Chonu notices the pendant around Belle's neck and realizes that it's not the singer in front of him, but his girlfriend Daewon. Meanwhile, Belle goes to a cafe where Ari and Jihan immediately expose her. Sihan is happy to see the singer as he has feelings for her. Daewon overhears Jeonwoo's phone conversation and realizes that the guy is mocking her feelings. Angry, the girl attacks him and makes a scandal as she suddenly wakes up and realizes that it was a terrible dream. Gathered in the living room, the stars continue to participate in the reality show, afraid to discuss personal issues. Daeun is very nervous, longing to communicate with Jeonwoo and understand the reason why they stopped seeing each other. Soon she and Sodo Hyun are invited for an interview. Taking advantage of the moment, Jeonwoo asks Sodokan to give the girl a message that he is looking to meet her for a private conversation, but the composer refuses to help. During the interview, Daeun is asked to dance, but the girl can't as she only pretends to be a successful belle. Afraid of exposure, she proposes to organize a women's arm wrestling and easily defeats all the rivals. rivals. The girl offers Sudokan to fight her, but the loser will fulfill one wish of his rival. The composer decides to give in, but at some point really loses. A little later, journalists ask him a personal question about his friendship, which angers Sudohyun. He decides to end the interview, but they promise to kick him out of the reality show if he doesn't answer a few questions. Realizing that the composer is in an awkward position, Daewon defends him. A little later, the girl makes a wish, according to which Sudohyun must invite Yeonu to the roof tonight. He promises to fulfill the request, but at some point changes his mind. Sudohyun realizes that Yeonu and Daeun, pretending to be Belle, are trying to find a way to communicate. Feeling sympathy for the girl, Sudohyun does not tell Chonu about her wish, and sends a text message in the evening, informing her that she will not fulfill the request. Here the girl also finds a note in her pocket, where Chonu offers her a date on the roof. At the same time, the real Belle is on the verge of being exposed, as Yoonsak, a devoted fan of her work, comes to the cafe for an internship, who does not believe that in front of him is not a star, but looks like her Daeun. In the evening, Sudohyun and Daeun start working together on a new song. The girl categorically refuses to dance as it will expose her and asks to focus on the lyrics. Tired of working, the composer falls asleep and Daewon goes to the roof to meet Jeonu. The girl doesn't realize that Aiden and Rue have teamed up to expose the couple to the public. They know about the couple's desire to meet and even facilitate it to ruin the career of the singer and his lover. Once on the rooftop, Daeun waits for Jeonu as she suddenly hears a knock on the door. As soon as she opens it, the guy kidnaps the girl and asks her to hide in the basement. It's the only place where there are no cameras and no one will hear them. He explains the reason why they stopped seeing each other and promises to fix it. Daewon decides to bring a blanket and food to the basement so that this place can become their sanctuary where they can meet every night. Upon waking up, Sudohyun notices the girl's disappearance and finds the couple meeting secretly in the basement. A little later, Daeun and Jeonu go to the studio to sing and be alone. Meanwhile, Aiden and Rue appropriates the girl's cell phone, which she accidentally dropped on the roof. They continue to do everything they can to expose the couple and destroy their careers. At the same time, Sudohyun decides to talk to Jeonu and admits that he likes Belle. He does not realize that behind the mask of a famous girl hides a modest Daewon, but he is not afraid to talk about his feelings. Meanwhile, the real Belle continues to be on the verge of being exposed as Yoonsak suspects that the girls have switched roles. The next night, Jeonu and Daeun meet again in the basement. The guy reports that Sudohyun feels sympathy for the girl, but she does not believe it, believing that they are just good friends. The next morning, a photo shoot is arranged for the reality stars. Sudohyun and Daewon are photographed together as a couple recording a song together. Taking advantage of the situation, the composer gets a little closer to the girl and asks her to hug him to make the photos seem more appealing. Jeonu notices this and struggles to contain his anger, but he can't openly declare his feelings and relationship with the girl. A little later, Daeun is forced to change her image, but finds herself in an awkward position as her dress is too short. Sudokan is outraged by this attitude to the beauty and covers her legs with a jacket, then offers to change clothes. There is no more suitable outfit, so the composer suggests using his second suit. While Daewon is changing, the costumer informs the guy that the dress was stolen by the evil and envious Rue. Back at the photo shoot, Daeun impresses everyone with his image. Sudohyun is not used to being silent, so he exposes Rue as a thief. Rue is outraged by the situation and asks Aiden to find a way to unlock the girl's stolen cell phone to expose her and Jeonu. At the same time, Jeonu hides nearby and overhears their conversation, then decides to talk to the producer's son. He knows that Aiden dreams of destroying his career because his father loves the singer more than his own son. There is a conflict between Aiden and Jeonu, but Hwayne takes advantage of the situation and takes away his cell phone so the singer can give it back to Daewon. Hwayne offers to be honest and open with the girl, but Jeonu is afraid of this. He returns the phone the next time they meet, but lies about everything that has happened up to that point. The next morning, Yoonsuk arrives at the cafe early again to watch Belle and her reaction. He guesses from appearances that this is not the humble and poor Daeun, but the successful Belle who has decided to hide from her popularity and problems. He threatens to expose her, but the girl denies the fact that they have switched. A little later, he He calls the magazine's editorial office to report it, but he is asked to provide proof. Soon Eden also learns that Belle and Dawn may have switched places, so she is not a famous singer and dancer on the reality show, but an ordinary waitress. At the same time, Dahoon and Sodohyun continue to get closer, because they have a lot in common. The next night, Daeun and Sodohyun meet in the basement. The guy suggests running away to Paris and tries to kiss her. Seeing this, Jeonu decides to interfere, as he suddenly realizes that this is a nightmare. In the morning, he notices Sodohyun flirting with Daewon and has a fit of jealousy. Noticing this, Shane pours water on the composer to make him go to his room. A little later, Daeun leaves to take a shower, and Hwayne notices that she has a phone call. After answering the phone, the girl hears Belle's voice and realizes that everything around her is a hoax. Belle and Daewon have switched places, hiding it from others, and the only one who knows the truth is Jeonu. A little later, Hwain decides to make sure and asks questions that only the real Belle knows the answer to. She easily exposes Daeun and learns the whole truth about how a simple waitress and a famous singer switched places for 1 week. Hwine warns Daeun that their exposure will lead to Jong's downfall, as he will not only end his career, but he will owe millions of dollars to his producer. The girls have to cover up the deception, but Rue and Aiden are determined. At night, Rue tries to take a picture of Daewon's back, as there is a severe burn on Belle's body. She almost succeeds in exposing the girl, but Hwine saves her in time. Realizing how hard it is for them to continue secretly dating, Daeun suggests Jong to stay away. He chases after the girl, but she pushes the guy away so they won't get caught on camera on a reality show. So Do-hyun gets into the conversation and defends Daeun, allowing her to leave with him. Once alone, he asks for a chance and forgets about Jaeon for a while, so they can be alone together. Meanwhile, Eun-suk continues to pursue Belle, which makes the girl nervous. The cafe owner, who has returned from vacation, decides to protect the girl, but the fan proves to be out of control and threatens to expose himself. Belle, Ari, and Jihan decide to involve another friend Daewon in the case, hoping that she will be able to influence Yoon-suk to stop him. The next day, the reality show couples have to film small scenes where they will be a couple in love or pretend they need to break up. Hwine and Jeonu pretend that they need to end their relationship, but the guy can't hold back his tears. He thinks about Da-eun all the time and is afraid of losing her. At the same time, Dane and Sodoyeon are forced to play a couple in love, but the composer likes this state of affairs. In the evening, Sodoken decides to confess his love to the girl, but she rejects him. Da-eun considers the composer only a friend, as he loves Jeonu and doesn't want to be with anyone else. Meanwhile, Yoon-suk continues to do everything he can to expose Belle. He comes to the cafe again and secretly takes pictures of the girl, but his friends and the cafe owner prevent him from doing so. Belle tries to talk to the fan and explain how hard the life of an idol is, and that she needs a vacation. The guy flatly refuses to hear the excuses and wants to publish all the information to force Belle to return to the stage, whether she wants to or not. A little later, Daewon tries to talk to Aiden to find common ground, but the evil son of the producer promises to do everything to destroy Jeonu's career. Realizing that their relationship is only hurting the singer, Daeun makes a tough decision. Going down to the basement, she declares to Jong that they should break up. Rue promises to cancel her contract if she continues to argue with Belle or try to expose her. At the same time, Aiden promises the girl to give her a new job if she helps her expose the truth to Belle and Daewon. Trying to do everything to expose them, Rue steals the girl's cell phone and sends a text message to the real Belle asking for a meeting. The next morning, the 6 reality stars answer viewers' questions from the comments. Sodoken is adored and gives him hundreds of compliments, but others are more interested in the story of Belle and Chonu's relationship. Viewers wonder if the couple is in a relationship, but Hwayne suggests moving on to other questions. Aiden insists on someone to answer, and Jeonu decides to tell the truth. Seeing this, Daewon doesn't want him to expose that she's not the real Belle. Getting ahead of the guy, she states that they have different personality types, and they parted ways, becoming good friends, but nothing more than that. A little later, Hwine suggests that Chan finish writing a song that could be a declaration of love. The guy successfully finishes the lyrics and communicates with Daewon, after which the couple realizes that they are ready to overcome everything in their way to be together. Hwine is jealous of Daewon in a way, as she secretly loves Jeonu and would like to be with him, but has to pretend to be a friend. Soon the real Belle arrives at the building where the rehearsal is taking place. She hides her face behind a mask, but the cameraman recognizes her anyway and asks her to come to the dressing room. Eden notices not only this, but also the second version of Belle, realizing that both girls are here and he can expose their deception. So Do-hyun suggests Daewon to stay friends after the reality show ends, but the girl does not consider it possible, knowing that the composer is in love with her. Despite this, the girl supports him in every possible way and asks him to let go of the bitter past. A little later, Daewon and Belle meet in the dressing room, realizing that they are trying to be exposed. Soon Rue comes here with several journalists, promising to give them a scoop. Dawn manages to hide, while Belle staunchly defends herself, proving that she is a real star. At one point, So Do-hyun shows up here and defends the girl, promising the journalists an interview about Rue that could destroy her career. So Do-hyun realizes that he's been cheated all this time, but accepts the fact with dignity. A little later, he takes the stage with Daewon and finally learns her real name. The couple sings a beautiful love song, realizing that they are unlikely to ever meet again. Meanwhile, Rue asks Iden to protect her, but he refuses to save her reputation. Angry, Rue calls Eden's producer and father to tell him about his devious plans to ruin John's career. Iden gets a slap in the face from his father, but decides to follow through. Soon Daewon returns to the stage to find the lost necklace, but there's also Iden, who brings out the real Belle to expose them both. The journalists and the guests are shocked that Belle deceived them. At first, the girl is ashamed and tries to leave the stage, but at the last moment, she decides to speak out. She confesses to lying and tells the reasons why she did it. Realizing that this is the right thing to do, Jonu also goes on stage and talks about her relationship with Daewon. Soon, journalists interview them dozens of times to find out the whole truth. Thanks to this, Jonu and Daeyeon can no longer hide and become a happy couple living together. The producer forgives Jonu and gives him a year of probation to prove that he can be a professional despite his personal life. At the same time, the real Belle begins a relationship with Jihan, who is in love with her. Soon, Jonu informs her that he has to leave for a year. Daeun cries and fears that they will break up again, but he promises to do everything to come back. For the next year, the couple keeps in constant communication, and Daeun hopes for the return of her beloved, who gave her an engagement ring. A year passes, and Jonu returns to be together with the one person she loves forever. As they embrace, Jonu and Daeun realize that their love can overcome all obstacles because they are destined to be together.